The human mind was never designed to live under constant review. Yet today, every ordinary decision, how you dress, rest, eat, or spend an hour, is silently put on trial. This is not choice overload. This is life lived under interrogation. Notice how often you hesitate over things that once required no thought at all. Not because the decisions are difficult, but because they now feel consequential. Somewhere along the way, modern life taught us that every choice must be optimized, justified, and defended. Even rest now asks permission. Extreme minimalism does not arrive here as a trend or an aesthetic. It enters as a counterforce, not to reduce possessions, but to end the interrogation. What follows is not about owning less. It is about reclaiming a mind that no longer stands trial for existing. Minimalism is often sold as a cure. Remove options, and the mind will rest. Reduce possessions, and clarity will follow. Yet many people who simplify their lives discover something unsettling. The noise does not disappear. It merely becomes quieter and closer. Decision fatigue does not come from how many choices you have. It comes from how often the mind is asked to evaluate itself. Even with fewer belongings, fewer commitments, fewer inputs, the modern person still performs an exhausting ritual. Constant self-assessment. Am I using my time well? Is this the right routine? Is this choice aligned with who I am becoming? Extreme minimalism fails when it is treated as subtraction alone, because subtraction without authority still leaves the mind negotiating. Here is the overlooked truth. The brain does not tire from choosing. It tires from defending its choices internally. This is why some minimalist lives feel strangely rigid. Why intentional living can begin to feel heavy. Why simplicity, pursued without structure, quietly turns into another form of mental labor. Extreme minimalism, at its most effective, is not about fewer decisions. It is about decisions that no longer require commentary. And once that distinction is understood, clarity stops being something you chase and becomes something that remains. There is a quiet paradox that emerges only after life has been simplified. It does not announce itself. It does not feel like failure. It feels like discipline. With fewer possessions, fewer routines, fewer commitments, the mind expects relief. But instead, something subtle begins to happen. Each remaining choice starts to carry more psychological weight. When options are abundant, decisions feel disposable. When options are scarce, they begin to feel symbolic. A meal is no longer just a meal. A routine is no longer just a routine. Each choice quietly asks, is this still the right one? This is where decision fatigue mutates. Not from excess, but from meaning inflation. Extreme minimalism narrows the field. And in doing so, it magnifies the importance of what remains. The minimalist mind, often unknowingly, begins to over-monitor itself. Did I choose correctly? Am I living intentionally enough? Am I wasting the clarity I worked so hard to create? This is not a flaw in extreme minimalism. It is a natural response of a mind that has been trained to optimize. Without realizing it, the search for mental clarity turns inward, and clarity itself becomes something to maintain, protect, and evaluate. That is the paradox. The simpler life becomes mentally heavier, and unless this is understood, even the most intentional living can quietly recreate the very fatigue it was meant to remove. The human brain did not evolve to manage abundance through analysis. It evolved to survive through patterns. For most of history, decisions were repetitive, contextual, and largely automatic. The mind conserved energy by trusting yesterday's answers. Eat what is available, rest when it is dark, repeat what worked. Modern life broke this pattern, not by increasing difficulty, but by demanding continuous evaluation. Extreme minimalism, when introduced without structure, can accidentally intensify this demand. By removing external noise, it exposes the internal mechanisms we rarely notice. Here is what begins to happen. With fewer external cues, the brain loses its scaffolding. Habits weaken, defaults disappear, and the mind is forced to stay alert, even in simple moments. This is why decision fatigue can increase after simplification. Not because there is more to decide, but because there is less to lean on. The brain, deprived of automatic patterns, compensates with vigilance. It watches itself closely. Questions arise where none existed before. Is this the best use of my time? Is this intentional enough? Is this aligned? This is not mindfulness. This is self-surveillance. Now here is the turning point, and it is rarely discussed. Extreme minimalism dissolves decision fatigue only when it replaces choice with pre-commitment. Not freedom through endless openness, but freedom through decisions made once and then retired. The brain relaxes not when it has fewer options, but when it knows certain questions are no longer up for debate. What to wear, when to work, how to eat, how to rest. When these are governed by quiet, stable structures, the mind steps back. Energy returns. Focus sharpens. Not because life is controlled, but because it is predictable in the right places. This is why two extreme minimalists can live outwardly similar lives. Yet one feels calm, and the other feels strained. One is constantly deciding how to live simply. The other has already decided. Minimalism becomes dangerous when it is treated as an ongoing negotiation. It becomes powerful when it becomes background architecture. The brain does not want freedom everywhere. It wants certainty where it does not matter, so it can invest attention where it does. When extreme minimalism is structured this way, decision fatigue does not fade gradually. It stops being generated. And this distinction between simplicity as a lifestyle and simplicity as a system determines whether clarity feels fragile or permanent. Here is the truth that quietly separates relief from exhaustion. Decision fatigue does not disappear when life becomes simpler. It disappears when the mind no longer feels responsible for justifying itself. This is the point most people miss. They believe extreme minimalism works because there is less to manage. In reality, it works only when the mind is released from authority. Authority is exhausting. Every time the brain must approve a choice, reaffirm a value, or confirm an intention, it spends energy. Even good decisions cost something when they must be revalidated. This is why a simplified life can still feel heavy, because the mind has been promoted to judge, curator, and supervisor of existence. Extreme minimalism becomes transformative only when the mind is demoted, when certain decisions are no longer revisited, when routines no longer ask for meaning, when daily life no longer requires philosophical endorsement. This is not carelessness. This is wisdom. The most mentally clear people are not those who think deeply about everything. They are those who have decided what no longer deserves thought. They do not wake each morning asking how to live well. They already know, and more importantly, they trust yesterday's answer. This is the quiet authority of extreme minimalism. Not control over possessions, not discipline over habits, but sovereignty over attention. Once this authority is established, something remarkable happens. The mind stops scanning. It stops checking. It stops measuring itself against its own standards. Focus becomes natural. Mindfulness becomes effortless. Time management no longer feels like management at all. Life regains a background. And in that background, clarity does not need to be protected. It simply remains. This is why extreme minimalism feels liberating to some and suffocating to others. One is still negotiating with life. The other has closed the discussion. And when the discussion ends, decision fatigue has nowhere left to exist. Extreme minimalism is more than a lifestyle or a visual aesthetic. It is a recalibration of the mind, a reallocation of attention from constant self-review to effortless presence. The paradox is clear. A life simplified too aggressively, without structure, can create its own invisible weight. A life simplified thoughtfully, where the mind is freed from unnecessary authority, creates clarity that endures. The difference lies not in what you own, how many routines you have, or how few decisions you face. It lies in which decisions you allow to breathe, in which you retire permanently from scrutiny. When this principle is understood, extreme minimalism becomes a tool for liberation, not a source of pressure. It is not about control, but about trusting the architecture of your own life. It is not about less. It is about clarity that requires no justification. So consider your own choices. Which questions are still demanding your attention unnecessarily? which routines could be retired, allowing the mind to rest, and which decisions, once settled, could give you hours of undisturbed focus, calm, and intentional living. If this insight resonates, share your experience in the comments. Tell us where extreme minimalism has freed your mind, or where it still challenges you. And if you want to explore how minimalism can reshape your lifestyle, your focus, and your decision-making, there is another video waiting that continues this conversation. Because clarity, like any skill, is grown and maintained, not stumbled upon.